Hi, I'm Wendy Gregory and this is my YouTube channel, The Wendy House. I'm a counselling psychologist and a survivor of a narcissistic relationship, and now I specialise in helping other survivors and training therapists. So today I'm going to be talking to you about what you can do if your narcissistic partner or ex-partner took your money. So firstly, if you were in an intimate relationship with that person, this is defined as domestic abuse, more specifically financial abuse. Now, it doesn't matter if the relationship is over or if you never lived together or if you found out that they were in a relationship with someone else at the same time, living with someone else or even married to someone else. The people that do this are often in multiple relationships. You almost certainly weren't the first person they did this to, and sadly you probably won't be the last. Now, I know just how hard and heartbreaking this can be. You had feelings for somebody, you wanted to help them out of the kindness of your heart, you lent them money in good faith, and they abused that and betrayed your trust. It really is the worst sort of betrayal, and it can also leave you feeling like a bit of a fool. You may be blaming yourself, you might feel embarrassed, you might not want to talk to people or tell people about it. Well, you're not alone, you're not stupid, and it definitely isn't your fault. Now, you might be thinking that there's nothing you can do because you handed that money over. Well, I'm here to tell you that that is not the case. There's plenty that you can do, so start taking that power back. Why should that person have your hard-earned money? What did they do to deserve it? I'm guessing nothing at all. Okay, so how did it happen? Well, they probably gave you a hard luck story. They might have said that they desperately needed the money for a business they were setting up, or to pay for a sick relative to have an operation, or to pay for an operation that they urgently needed themselves, or any other kind of sob story that pulled on your heartstrings. And they would have been utterly convincing, as narcissists are. They quite possibly gave you proof, or things like forwarding texts to you or emails from businesses, from friends, from relatives. They might even have got someone to call you posing as a friend, a business partner or a relative. They would have assured you that they would pay that money back very soon. They might even have signed a contract to show how and when they would repay you. But whatever they did, sadly, it was total bullshit. So here we go. Firstly, I would like you to be aware of the definition of fraud. Now, fraud by false representation is when a person has dishonestly made a false representation, and they intend by doing that to make a gain for themselves or for another, or to cause loss to another, or to expose another to the risk of loss. And a representation is false if it's untrue or misleading, and if the person making it knows that it is or might be untrue or misleading. So if that does fit the bill, what can you actually do? Well, two things. You can find out the truth and you can get justice and get your money back. So we're going to take a step back here and check how you know that this person is deceiving you. If you're suspicious, you're probably right, so start asking questions, and if you're not satisfied with the answers, keep asking. Some common excuses for not paying you back are, I'm owed money myself, my bank account has been scammed, a family member is ill, I've got cancer, anything else. So don't be afraid to challenge those excuses and ask for proof. So if they say their bank account's been scammed, ask for a screenshot of their bank statement. Make sure you keep all records of texts, messages, emails, and try to communicate by email or text rather than by telephone so that you've got a written record. If you do speak on the phone, record any calls. So you can use an app like Smart Voice Recorder, which is free to download. If you met this person on a dating site, don't initially complain to the site because it might be useful for their profile to stay on there because it may be investigated and used as evidence at some point. Meanwhile, do as much digging as you can. Find out everything you can about this person's financial history, their employment history, any CCJs, that's county court judgments they've had in the past, and you can get a full background check online for about £15. So don't be tempted to pay out to an investigation agency or company. They may charge hundreds or thousands. It really isn't necessary. So try to find out anything else that could count as false representation. If you find they're married or still with an ex-partner and they didn't tell you, that is a false representation. So now that you're feeling a little more certain that you have been scammed, what are your options? Well, you've got two, but please be aware that you can't do both. It has to be one or the other. So the first option is to take the civil route. Go to gov.uk and type in make a court claim for money. You can fill in an online form for both the money owed to you and any interest. It does cost, but if you win your case, that will be added to the debt. If you win and your partner or ex-partner is working, you can ask for the money to be deducted from their earnings. The second option is to go the police route. To do that, call 101, tell them that you believe you've been a victim of fraud in a domestic relationship and that you would like to make a statement. They will arrange for a mutually convenient time to come round and discuss this with you. So make sure when that happens that you have all your evidence and you're very clear in your own mind about exactly how this happened and in what order. You will be given an option of making a victim personal statement detailing how this has affected you emotionally, psychologically and practically, but you don't have to do that straight away. So what will happen next? The officers will go back and they'll talk to their sergeant and make a decision about whether your case is worth investigating. If they decide to go ahead, be prepared for a long, long wait. We're talking months, sometimes years. But don't give up. You're not pestering. You are entitled to regular updates on the case. If you're not satisfied, call 101 again and say you'd like to make a complaint. All such calls have to be followed up within a very short time frame, usually 24 hours, by a call from an inspector. And they should then tell you whether they agree that you have grounds for complaint. If they do, then they'll talk to the officers in charge of the case and agree an action plan with you. Now be prepared to repeat this process more than once. You may have to do it several times. Ultimately, if you're still not satisfied, you can ask to make an official formal complaint, and that can be done initially online. Now, hopefully your case won't be this difficult or complicated, but at some point the suspect will be interviewed and a decision made about whether to charge them. This has to be approved by the CPS, the Crown Prosecution Service, and if it is, then it is quite possible that it will go to Crown Court. Fraud is actually a very serious offence. If you start to have doubts, remember that you're in the right here, not them, and try to get as much support as you can from friends or family, because the whole process can be utterly exhausting and very draining. So finally, I hope this has been helpful. If it has, please share, comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to check up on your next date, your new date, please see my video on how to do this and stay within the law, and the link to that is coming up. So you take care of yourself and good luck, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.